Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another Pause and Pray. I can confidently say that in all of the places I've lived, I've never had neighbors as wonderful as I do here on the block that Christy and I live on in the Bayview neighborhood of Milwaukee. We've just sort of connected and look out for each other in ordinary ways. Whether that's getting packages for one another if somebody's gone, or checking on somebody's house if they're gone for a lengthy amount of time, sharing key codes, watching each other's dogs, lingering over conversations in front or backyards, regularly checking in with each other. We even have a text group that we're all on in case something surfaces that needs to be brought to neighbors' attention. And that happened a few days ago. We had a series of really hot and humid days here in Milwaukee, and we have an elderly neighbor at the end of the block, and all of us neighbors were texting and setting up a schedule to just check in on our elderly neighbor to make sure that they were faring the hot, humid weather okay. And I just found myself so grateful for such simple, constant, everyday kindness surrounding me and my neighbors. I mean, we don't have to look far into the world to see a lot of brokenness and suffering. Sometimes we don't have to look past our own lives, but just knowing that there's kind, compassionate, caring, gentle people in this world produces so much hope, at least for me and my life. In chapter 5 of Paul's letter to the Romans, Paul celebrates the gift of God's ability to produce hope in our lives. And for Paul, that hope can be produced even in the darkest of situations. Out of great suffering and struggle, we can find gifts like character and endurance and ultimately a hope that doesn't disappoint. Again, which is incredible news for us because, as I said earlier, we don't have to look very far to find a lot of suffering and darkness. But it's along those lines and that we're invited today, given a holy invitation to pause and pray and reflect on some of the ways in which we've come to experience hope produced in our lives. Maybe that's just through the simple everyday kindness and compassion of other people that touch our lives. Or maybe it's found in the wisdom of elders who offer that wisdom to us who might be younger and give us hope that we can navigate some of life's twists and turns because they've been there and done that. Or maybe on the flip side, it's finding hope produced in the young and children who almost naturally imbue life in the world with a hope for future generations. And maybe the more we pause and pray and reflect on how hope has been produced in our lives, we find the grace and strength we need to go out and produce a little bit more hope through our lives. And the good news is that can be done as simply as checking in on a neighbor. God's peace and blessings to you all.